Good morning, everyone. Phil Wyzik, Monadnock Family Services. I'm particularly happy to follow Sue Ellen and Matt and Cameron about this issue because workforce obviously is the critical ingredient to making any of this good stuff happen. The client stories, the advancement. You need a dedicated talent, dedicated individual that can do what we need them to do. So workforce and the problems that Sue Ellen mentioned is something we've been thinking about for many years as well, even before the IDNs came along. And one thing I wanted to get back to Matt's story is to point out that in between the lines of his important story about hypertherm, he was saying something else that he didn't quite put into words, but let me try to capture that, because he talked about hypertherm's wonderful external brand, right? High-tech plasma cutting tools, world class. If you want to cut a hunk of steel, go talk to Hypertherm. So the external brand is very important to them. But what he talked about indirectly was the internal brand that exists at Hypertherm that this wonderful program must have been embedded in, right? There's a special internal brand that the Hypertherm employees know about. And in terms of workforce development, understanding the internal brand in some ways is every bit as important as understanding what your external brand is, because somebody might apply to your organization because of your external brand, but they're going to stay with you because of your internal brand and the culture that you have and the relationships that you have and the values that permeate the workplace. So that's what been trying to focus on for the last several years. And as we were doing that, the IDN workforce development money came along, so it was just like a perfect timing. So we have tried to do the things that Sue Ellen was doing with terms of scholarships and sign-on bonuses and stuff like that. But we also wanted to use the IDN money to create some tools for us to use for many years to come, so that even in the future we can still sort of promote our culture as a good employer. So to articulate the internal brand of a place like Monadnock Family Services, one thing the research says is that it has to be really sincere. It has to be right spot on. You can't overpromise. You can't gloss over something that doesn't exist, or we must understand that. So we took about maybe a year and a half to try to articulate into words what our internal brand was. Why does somebody work for us? And what do they get? Not the salary and the benefits and the time off and stuff like that, but what do they get by being part of our community? And so we tried to articulate that in print, and took us a while to make this sort of threefold brochure about our internal brand, which speaks about growth, developing expertise, teamwork, making a difference in people's lives and impact, so that we can use a tool like this at job fairs, which there's one going on today, as a matter of fact, and we can mail this to somebody who's we really want to entice to come and join us. So we spent a lot of time sort of making sure we were going to give a message to the community and to the world that was true and sincere, that would last. And we used our employees to kind of ferret out, what is that? Why are you working here? And so understanding that was a helpful thing to our workforce. We were also able to make a video about why somebody would work for us, and we decided to use our staff people in an unscripted way, and this is what we were able to produce.
People choose to work at Monadnock Family Services because it's rewarding. It's a good feeling to watch families grow and change over time.
We make a huge difference in Keene as MFS, from housing to making sure people have enough food to eat, to helping them deal with natural stressors and infrequent stressors. I think we really change the lives of people who live in Keene, and I think we do a good job at showing other communities what it's like to be part of a mental health center.
Working at MFS is rewarding when you see the clients, they come to therapy and then they finish. They've reached their goal. They're doing okay. So they don't need us anymore. So that's a good thing to see.
MFS means to me community and hope in the community. I think the impact that MFS has is a good impact. We're here for the people that in a lot of cases are forgotten about, and we're here to help them and make it so they're not forgotten and that they're part of the active community. I work with all of the local agencies. I work with Southwestern, the city, 100 Nights, the fire department, the police department. I work with all the different departments here in Keene, and we work hand in hand. It's not just about me, it's about the bigger picture, and we like to serve everybody across the board.
I don't think I would be making as strong of an impact if I wasn't here with MFS. It's really given me the opportunity to grow as an individual, professionally and personally.
I think working here at MFS, you grow every day because you learn something new every day. What you see today is not what you're going to see tomorrow, and what you see tomorrow is not going to be what you see the next day. So you learn to take the things in stride. I've seen a lot of people complete their masters while they work here, or complete their bachelors while they work here, and continuously move up into new roles as they gain more education.
The team environment here is so strong. That's one of the things that every morning coming to work, I'm really happy to come to work. It's just, you know, you're going to be supported, you know that you can ask for help when you need it, you know that there's always someone there.
And so I really appreciate how everybody really comes together, respects each other's opinions and points of views, and we work really to benefit the clients.
People who come and come to work for Monadnock Family Services are interested and curious about working with people during their times of great need. I'm looking for compassionate, committed, and dedicated workers to come and be a part of our team.
If someone is thinking about making an impact on someone's life daily, they should definitely consider MFS, as that's what we do. We're everyday superheroes.
Monadnock Family Services has been inspiring hope.
Inspiring hope.
Inspiring hope
Since 1905.
So we're trying to figure out the best way to deploy a resource like this or these print resources. But just by way of conclusion, let me tell you that in the last 6 months, our turnover rate has been about 11%. In the last 12 months, our turnover rate has been about 22%. In the last 12 months before that, the turnover rate was 36%. So I'd say we're making progress by this and other things to attract the right people. And like Sue Ellen said, using Indeed and positioning yourself a little higher gets the return rate. We're seeing more applications than ever before for our position, so it's very, very helpful. Thanks very much for your time.